Hi guys, and welcome to Module 3. In this module, we're going to talk about the modern evolution of Nigerian fashion industry. When you think about it, when Nigeria gained independence, one name was everywhere: Folashade Thomas-Fahm. Now, data shows that she was the first Nigerian to launch an indigenous boutique. Now, upon independence, Folashade launched a boutique where she was mixing Western silhouettes with the Yoruba designs because she's originally Yoruba. Now, beyond her, we can go on to talk about other names like Chief Mrs. Nikki Davies, but another notable name would be Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, the founder of Supreme Stitches. The thing about her was that these were the businesses or the brands that were closing the 1% in the Nigerian society. Aside these folks, or aside these brands, fashion at that time was pretty much tailoring. Made to measure, and Nigerians were very in tune with their local traditional attires. The Iran babas, the dashiki, the bubu, the kaftans. Those were the styles that were in trend. Of course, there were a lot of businesses that were also offering, the basic staples of skirts and blouses, but Nigeria was very much in tune with its tribal designs. By the early 2000s, we began to see a lot of fashion brands emerging and designers becoming recognized and renowned locally and somewhat internationally. The Nigerian Fashion Week at the time was the order of the day. The Nigerian Fashion Week gathered dignitaries, diplomats, politicians, notable personalities in the Nigerian society and showcased beautiful pieces on the runway, and it was excellent. As the Nigerian Fashion Week began to exit the scene, the Lagos Fashion Week took control of the Fashion Week seasons, and this was in the late 2010s. Now, other designers at this time began to emerge: Zizi Cardow, Duro Olowu, Folashade. I can go on and on to name designers. Diola, who at the time had now gained reputable recognition on the global scene. We had Ituen Basi. There were a lot of names that were emerging at this time, and they began to transform the Nigerian fashion industry. Ituen Basi was very known for using traditional textiles, the Ankara fabrics, to make remarkable things. I think it was also at this time that we had a lot of trends in Ankara craftsmanship, Ankara jewelry, Ankara bags, Ankara bangles, and a lot of things like that. And gradually, we began to see the world looking into Nigeria, looking at African fashion through the lenses of Nigerian designers. Now, like I mentioned, fashion at the time was largely tailoring, cutting, sewing. I'm not very sure a lot of businesses at the time had embraced pattern drafting, pattern making. I also do not think that we had existing individuals who were experts in any of these fields that I've mentioned, such as pattern making, illustration, pattern drafting. Now, because of global influence and global demands that started increasing by the early 2010s, designers began to look inward and started looking for talents who could help upscale or scale up their businesses. Now, global demand for made in Nigeria or made in African goods required businesses to start looking at their systems and structures. They needed to have more hands and individuals with different areas of expertise. Now, at the time, many businesses just focused on having more tailors, more sewing machine operators, and then some cutters, and production went on smoothly. Now, that led to more and more demand for made in Nigerian fashion. And this has brought us to the point where the fashion industry is largely ready to wear today, because we have a lot of local consumers as well as international consumers. On the international scene, we have Westerners and Africans or Nigerians in the diaspora who are constantly seeking to stay in tune with their culture or with just being Nigerian or African. And one of the easiest ways that we see Africans in diaspora staying in tune with their home, their story, their background and origin is through fashion. As the demand for made in Africa or made in Nigeria goods began to increase. So also the conversation surrounding sustainability. Now, sustainability in fashion is a broad topic, and we're not diving into it today. But one of the ways that sustainability was being measured at the time was through the kind of textiles that were being used and the model of production. Now, because Nigeria in particular was very artisanal in their production processes, meaning that it required people to produce and it required time. Some of the elements or the details on some garments required hours of hand stitching and embroidery, beading, and the likes. It sort of promoted Nigerian fashion and African fashion to be more sustainable as compared to Western designs. This has led to even growing demands for made in Nigerian goods. Today, Nigerian fashion is leading the continent. It's literally the brand or the industry ushering the world to experience made in Africa. We have a plethora, we have numerous ready-to-wear businesses. I can't even count. We cannot put a number to them. At the same time, we have a lot of designers that have gained global recognition. Thanks to platforms like the Nigerian Fashion Week, which having exited was taken over by Lagos Fashion Week. Through Lagos Fashion Week, we have big brands today that have gained global recognition. Some other brands have already gained recognition but leveraged the platform of Lagos Fashion Week to reach more buyers and merchandisers across the world.